In today's satsang, we will go into Bhagavan Ramana Maharishi's talks with Sri Ramana Bhagavan. In Tamil, it is Sri Bhagavat Vachanamrutam என்னும் திருவருண்மொழி இரண்டாவது மூன்றாவது பாகங்கள். It was published by Sri Ramanashramam Tiruvannāmalai 1996. In that, the date of the talks took place on 28th December 1937, in which a questioner asks Bhagavan Ramana Maharishi, உண்மையை உணர பகவான் உதவ வேண்டும். To realize the truth, I need Bhagavan's help. In all the places Bhagavan means Bhagavan Ramana Maharishi only. He is seeking the help of Bhagavan Ramana Maharishi to realize the truth, for which Bhagavan replies, உதவி எப்பொழுதும் இருந்து கொண்டே இருக்கின்றது. The help is always there. It's open. It's always open. The help showers on each and everyone without any time restrictions. This was his answer to that question. Why did he say that the help is always there? Because the state of jnana, the state of realization, it is not a separate state. It is the matrix state. It is the state of matrix or a platform, foundation on which our other three states pass through. We as human beings undergo three states of existence. One is the deep sleep state. There is no observer at all. There is no entity who lives as that man or woman. Nothing exists. Even to say one is alive or one is dead, one needs consciousness or the mind, which doesn't exist. So it is a state of not knowing anything, because the very knower ceases to exist. He disappears together with his waking state mind. Next is the state of dream, which emerges from the deep sleep state. When one's senses are shut, when one's mind ceases to exist or disappears, suddenly from nowhere, a movie like, a cinema like projection takes place. One cannot even say it was within the body or outside of the body. He experiences different experiences as a dream, like a movie, in which he doesn't see his form, but he experiences good, bad, painful, pleasurable experiences in the dream, with a world also coming to exist. In his world of dream, he experiences like waking state. It was 100% real. The land on which, or the mountain on which he climbs, he runs, he has a physical body in a very, very, very subtle manner. That is why it is called a dream, because it is created by mind itself. The world, the experiencer of good and bad, pleasurable and painful, all these things are created. And the other state is waking state, where audio, video registrations, both within and as well as in the external world, we experience. So these are the three states. Bhagavan here, in his reply, he says, the help is always there. What does it mean? He means a state of existence in which there is no time as a concept. We as human beings, during our waking state, we observe time, we experience time, physical time, because of the arising of sun and the seasonal changes and the earth orbiting on its own axis in every 24 hours and revolves around the sun for 365 days. This creates a sense of physical time. Again, that is perceived only by mind, not by physical body. Even talking about our own physical body is our mind. This is a kind of time of relativity in reference to our physical body, and the movement of the sun, earth, etc. are all correlated, and a physical time is created, like traveling between a place to place, traveling between places to places, and psychologically gaining a skill or mastering an objective course over a period of time. Say in a week's time, I learn a computer course, or in 6 months' time, I graduate myself, or in 3 years' time, 5 years' time, I become a doctor, a professional. All these things involve acquiring of knowledge, layer upon layer, in our mind as objective knowledge. This sense of time ceases to exist in jnanis. They transcend time. There is no time at all. For this, we can take as a reference our deep sleep state. In our deep sleep state, nothing exists. There is not even an observer. Without an observer, everything ceases to exist. That shows fundamentally there exists no time, no space. Even space ceases to exist. There is no space and time and a three-dimensional existence. Jnana is a state of absoluteness, from which everything emerges. A concept as I, me, mine, etc. emerge through identification with the physical body. We come out of the waking deep sleep every morning. That is why Bhagavan here has replied that help has always been. Help has always been. That means, what does it actually mean behind those words? The help is always available, but one is not aware because one is in spatio-temporal reality. That is waking state and dream state. These two states create out of an individual center called ego, three-dimensional existence. So one's duty is always to investigate within, inquire within as to who one really is. Is he the entity who lives in the waking state with multi-dimensional dualities? Dualities basically from the physical things, from the relative time aspects, then out of the values we have created, like good, bad, right, wrong, like, dislikes, in all physical, psychological, spiritual angles. So, multi-dimensionally dualities have been motivating an individual, thereby he has been, since time immemorial, he has been in this trap of dualities, always valuing between one or the other thing. That is why the existence of birth and death goes on taking place ceaselessly. Here the Bhagavan's reply was, help has always been. That means there is no time aspect at all. So one has to get rid of the factor of time, or understand, does time exist psychologically as well as physically, because psychology only drives the physiology. So one has to investigate this. When one realizes there exists no time at all, because our deep sleep reveals the fact of this existence as there is no separate intelligence in any cell or energy or force separately existing. Hence, only one intelligence pervading one isness, is-ness, isness, which never ceases to exist. That is, what is isness? This isness and its nature is intelligence itself, out of which everything emerges, and it contains everything. It is everything. The immanent creation is also that intelligence itself. So there is no separation at all. Everything is absolute here. A subatomic energy, a subatomic particle, Shakti, power, force, and the grandest star, everything is basically one intelligence. That is why in one answer he goes to such a depth in saying that help has always been. You better get rid of the time concept which never exists. Especially the human being alone has the capacity to correlate between his deep sleep and the knowing states called as dream and waking state, and realize there exists no time, there exists no space. One intelligence, only one supreme intelligence that pervades this cosmos, and it must be showering its help without a factor called time and space. This is the truth Bhagavan has given as a reply for this question. Truth or reality has no dimensions at all. We see animals, the animals which have 5 senses, that is a cow or an elephant or a goat. They exist as it is conditioned by the body with instincts. In the same way, actually, it is like a sleep state of a human being. They exist like the deep sleep state of an individual, of a human being. Their 24/7 existence is like a deep sleep, which we specially undergo as our sleeping state, that is deep sleep state. Both are the same. But truth is like that. The reality is like that. The absolute is like that. It has no dimensions at all. Time, space are like an object which contains width, length and height. All these dimensions do not exist in reality. It has no object, it pervades all objects, both with lives and without lives, that is animate and inanimate. Inert matter as well as forces, energy, power and lives. It pervades everything. It never allows anything to exist separately at all. It is finer than space, invisible. It exists even as space. Space comes out of it. The empty space comes out of it. In our intellect, in our millennia of births and deaths, it has ever been so obvious we just miss it. Just like in space all the objects exist, we miss the space in our perception. In the same way, our natural state, the state of reality or truth or the realized state, it doesn't have any tense at all. The state of realization, the nature of realization has always been there. That is why Bhagavan always replies, the grace has always been, the help has always been. That always doesn't fall under the sense of time. That is the truth. That we have to intuitively see. So, the existence of space and time, an individual always talks, approaches even spirituality, even to know what is there in that state, he approaches it with a perspective. That perspective is set in the intellect as space and time. He takes himself to be that physical body, that itself sets that platform of time and space. It contains that individual as well as his intellectual movements. So one has to holistically perceive all the three states in comparison. The three states one state of not knowing, that is deep sleep, and the other two states of knowing, that is in dream he experiences, and in the waking state he lives as his physical body with all the sensations, feelings, past memories, and splits time as past, present and future, and he uses his all the senses as something away from his body, physical body, exists as a world, which factor never exists in the state of realization. And the state of realization is not an attained state, it is a natural state. Like in our deep sleep, the truth exists. In truth, in reality, we all dissolve our minds and plunge into some oblivion. Whereas the realized souls knows the power of the deep sleep, and they have investigated, they have understood, they have convinced, and they are in the state never slipping out of it. It is the natural, original our state. So jnana is not something new to be attained. It only has to be recognized. When all the anatma, that is what they call, that is what the things which are of this world, which are contained by the time and space dimensions as I and mine, they only hide the reality. So for which only the removal of these identifications with names and forms, dualities, time, space, all these things are to be probed thoroughly. So vichara, our investigation alone leads one to that path. That is why one should always take the support of satsanga, which clarifies his intellect of all its conditionings. By and by, he realizes the truth. He realizes in truth or reality there exists no dimensions at all. It is only oneness, absolute.